This is how a fugitive and a sharpshooter police officer killed her two lovers, John Ogweno and Peter Njirundwega, in less than 48 hours and managed to give police officers a proper chase. Caroline Kangogo was born in Nyawa, Tambach, in the former KO district, to Barnaba Kipkoech Koril and Leah Jepkosgei. She attended Nyawa Boarding Primary School and joined St. Francis Secondary School and later St. Alfonso's Mutei Girls Secondary School before joining the Kenya Police College in Kiganjo between 2008 and 2009 for her initial training. While at Kiganjo, she obtained a first class in shooting range qualification and she went for a corporal course at the Kenya Police College in Kiganjo in 2014. Kangogo was married to Commissioner of Police Richard Kipkirui Ngeno, with whom they had 2 children. She had served at the Police Training College in Mombasa, the Kaloleni Police Station, Kenya Police College, and she was attached to the Nakuru Law Courts. Police Corporal Caroline Kangogo had been described by many as a carefree woman who had a string of love affairs and loved to party and booze. Kangogo had a long-running love affair with Peter Ndwega, a man that she shot dead at a hotel in Juja. She also had an affair with Constable John Ogweno, which was hardly a month old before she shot her in the head. Her colleagues described her as a troubled woman and a drama queen who had been constantly fighting with male colleagues. Colleagues and neighbors at the Kasarani police quarters in Nakuru, where Kangogo had been residing for a long time, say the mother of 2 had been engaging in numerous romantic relationships with workmates and all had a chaotic end. Her colleague, who sought anonymity, said he had discouraged the 28-year-old John Ogweno, who was found dead on July 5th, from engaging in a love relationship with Caroline Kangogo. He mentioned that when he first learnt that Caroline and Ogweno had started a romantic relationship, he advised Ogweno to end it quickly because of the men he had several incidents with colleagues, which ended up in a near-death experience because of being entangled to Caroline. The officer said it was not clear what triggered Ogweno's murder a few hours after he found Kangogo with yet another man in her quarters. It was common for her to react aggressively if any of her lovers caught her cheating, which was also very common for her, the officer said. He also cited an incident in which Ndwiga was almost stabbed to death in her Nakuru house in May last year after a KDF serviceman sent him an X-rated video of Kangogo and him in the act. Kangogo is said to have broke the phone into pieces to destroy evidence and started chasing him from one room to the other and throwing sharp objects at him. He added that it took the intervention of colleagues at the headquarters to save Ndwiga and ensure that he left the quarters despite the curfew that was in place. By then, Ndwiga, who co-owned a security firm with Kangogo, were cohabiting as man and wife, but the former would travel to Juja every Tuesday and return on Thursday. Ogweno had been transferred from Kericho in February this year to the crime branch at the Nakuru Central Police Station, where he had met and fell in love with Kangogo. Another officer said two of Kangogo's male colleagues almost killed each other when she set them up in her house. The female colleague said one of Kangogo's ex-lovers, an employee of the Nakuru County government, was saved from an angry mob after Kangogo raised the alarm, saying that he was a thief. He was incarcerated for a few hours before being bailed out by his workmates. The colleague said Kangogo had a tendency of ending her love relationships dramatically by setting up her mates and threatening them with death. She had separated from her husband, a senior police officer, Richard Kipkirui Ngeno, and had two children aged 11 and 8, and they were both seemingly co-parenting with Kangogo, having custody of the children. Kangogo seemed disturbed and on a revenge mission on men that she had been involved with romantically. As fate would have it, the first victim would turn out to be Ogweno, who was fatally shot on the head and his body left at a parking lot at the Kasarani police station in Nakuru, and immediately Kangogo went into hiding. Later that evening, she was placed at another murder scene in Juja, where she was said to have lured 32-year-old Ndwiga into a hotel and shot him in the head. Despite a hotel booking receipt that was left at the scene of the second murder, CCTV cameras captured Kangogo and Ndwiga walking into a hotel. According to a report at Theta police station in Juja, Ndwiga's body was found to have a bullet in the head. According to the hotel attendants, Ndwiga checked into the hotel on July 5th, 2021 at around 4:30 p.m. in the company of Caroline Kangogo and booked room number 107. Kangogo was later spotted on CCTV exiting the room at around midnight before fleeing to an unknown destination. Ndwiga's body was later found on the bed, lying in a pool of blood. The DCI George Kinoti consequently cautioned members of the public that the cop was armed and dangerous. Her training and experience as a crime buster in the police service seemed to have worked in her favor, making it difficult for the police to pin her down. Initial reports indicate that the fugitive cop had spent hours drinking with the two men before they were found dead 2 days apart, one in Nakuru and the other one in Kiambu County. 11 days later, on Friday at 7:30 at Nyawa Village, Tambach Division, KO District, Caroline Kangogo allegedly shot herself dead at her parents' home. Her parents called the police, who found the body in a pool of blood in the bathroom. Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembea confirmed the incident. She still wore her yellow hood at the time of the incident. These are the same clothes she wore when she killed two men on July 5, 2021. These marked the end of her hunt, which had been ongoing for 2 weeks after the heinous acts. She had one bullet wound in the front of her head. Her mother, who was going out to shower early in the morning, found her daughter's body lying in a pool of blood and raised alarm. It was alleged that Kangogo also left suicide messages in her phone, which were released by police following doubts that she had committed suicide. She had begun by saying that the Kenya police caused her stress, and she mentioned a Nakuru OCS who she claimed demanded sex from her. In another message, Caroline Kangogo went ahead to thank lawyer Cliff Ombeta, who, unlike others, was ready to represent her and tell her side of the story. The message reads, "I am Caroline Chemutai, the killer cop. Thanks, Mr. Ombeta. I had a story to tell. Cheers, Cliff Ombeta. I wish you all the best." In another message, Caroline Kangogo requested her dad to hire movers to collect her belongings in Kasarani and also take care of her children, as she claims her husband did not contribute a penny and should not lay any claim to her earthly possessions. For her funeral, Caroline Kangogo expressed her request to be buried in a wedding gown because her husband could not afford to throw her a wedding. Caroline Kangogo left a very solemn tribute to John Ogweno, who she speaks with sincere love and affection. She says he never judged her and forgave her any time she went astray. Caroline Kangogo also sent apologies to her family and Ogweno's family for everything that had transpired. She asked them to forgive her, and she didn't mean to drag them in the crisis that befell her. Caroline Kangogo also wrote that she had no apologies for killing Peter Njiro, saying that he stole 1.5 million from her money that she had borrowed from her dad's pension. Njiro was shot by Kangogo at point-blank range in Ajuja lodging. In yet another message, Caroline Kangogo blamed her father for siding with her abusive, philandering husband, Ngeno, who called to poison his mind. She claims Ngeno drove a wedge between Kangogo and her father, therefore escalating her depression and mental health issues. She also left instructions to her brother about paying Chumba's rent, since she trusts him and not her psychotic husband. Police Constable Caroline Kangogo was laid to rest in July 2021 in a low-key burial. There was no gunfire salute because of the circumstances of her death, which led to her being denied the honors. At only 34 years, a very promising police officer had tragically died. Her body was dressed in a wedding dress as per her wishes. Now, this brings us to several questions which I would like us to unravel together in the comment section below. 1. Did Caroline Kangogo deserve another chance in life? Do you think she committed suicide or was she assassinated? Did Caroline Kangogo write those messages herself or did someone else write them? Did she or was she the fugitive everyone labeled? Was she battling mental health issues which were left unaddressed? Does the Kenya Police address mental illness which their employees battle? Why would she want to unalive herself while she had a promising career and beautiful kids to take care of? Did she really kill John Ogweno and Peter Njirondwega? Did her unhappy marriage bring her to her early grave? I have been your host, Lily's Rams. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Do not forget to comment down below. And thank you to my returning subscribers. And to those who have not subscribed, remember to subscribe.